Good morning. Welcome on this Monday morning that started off bright and sunny and is now clouding over. But welcome in anyway. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. And as usual, I'm here on a Monday morning. Normally I'm here Mondays and Fridays to do a bit of crafting with you. So lovely to see you. Morning, Angie, or evening for you. Morning for us. Lovely to see you. Morning, Lisa. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of a play. This was the stamp set I was going to play with last Monday actually, and then that didn't happen. So we'll play with it today. Morning, Jackie. So this is the bundle actually, the Arrange a Wreath bundle. Now this has been out since, well, nearly a year because it's in the annual catalogue. In fact, let me fetch the annual catalogue and see if we can find it, because it's always good to have a little look at the samples and things that they've come up with. That's always good inspiration, because always remember your catalogue isn't just about selling your stuff, buying things. It's also about inspiring you to use the things that you've bought and to inspire you to use other things you may have. So here we are. Here's the Arrange a Wreath bundle in the annual catalogue, and you can see, morning Lee, you can see all these beautiful things. There's that little gift box there with all the Easter eggs on it, and that lovely sort of autumny sunflower wreath just there, and this gorgeous little wreath just here with hearts all over it. Happy Heart Day. You've also got your partridges and your pears to make sort of a partridge in a pear tree wreath for Christmas. You can use one of the big flower dies. This one that they've used here for the sunflower would also make a fabulous poinsettia. So yeah, lots of lovely wreaths to take you throughout the year. And actually I've got a Stamp Stack class that's going out in the post, hopefully late part of this week, early part of next. So if you're interested in that and you've not signed up, do sign up. I can always order you things if you need stamp sets and dies, and just send the bundle on to you when those things arrive. But I can be cutting your cards and things at the same time as I'm cutting everybody else's. So it's not too late to join up for that if you fancy it. So let's have a little look. So you can see I've been using them. I've not yet got these onto a magnetic sheet, but I have been having a play. You've got two fabulous dies here for the wreath dies, two different sorts of foliage. You've got sort of all your little flowers and leaf bits. You've got your dies that cut out your eggs, your hearts, your pears, and some leaves and things, and centre of a flower just there. Some other little flowers that you can cut out these stamped images from. And your leaves. You've got this really great sort of, reminds me of the Love Heart Sweets. There you are. You've got a little love there that you can have either on your wreath or just on your card. You've got a great little bow just here. So yeah, really, really great little set. Lots of lovely things on there to be creating some gorgeous wreaths. So that's the dies. The stamp set, obviously, as I said, you've got your partridge, you've got your Easter eggs, so we use those on Friday. You've got your pears, you've got these nice greetings with that really lovely font. I love that sort of curly E on that Easter. And you've got some flowers and leaves and things on here, and this sort of strange little box affair going on. So great stamp set there as well. So let's move those to one side for a minute. I did cut out both of the wreaths just so you could see what they look like. So this, the two very different foliages, so that you can use them individually or you can layer them up on top of each other, and they look really rather fabulous. It is a beautiful set of dies. They're really lovely. But I thought that we would try and see if we could come up with some things that wasn't just die cutting the wreaths and laying them up. Let's see if we could create some things that would be some different make takes really on those. So I am going to take this round wreath just here and some garden green card. Now I am going to run this through my big machine. It will just about fit through the little one, but it sometimes doesn't quite catch the edge. So you're possibly better going through your bigger machine, just because you know you're going to get it all over and not risk catching the end of that die. Hello Michelle. Did I say hello Lee? If I didn't, good morning. So I'm bringing in the big machine, the big one. Let me move that over just slightly, because otherwise I'm going to be knocking the lead on my phone with every turn, and that is not helpful. So let's take that. So I've cut that in garden green, and that will pop out of that. Now I've got a little pile of these building up. They're rather fascinating, aren't they? I wonder what you could do with those. Morning Caroline. Yeah, I keep looking at those, and this is the inner for the other. Yeah, they're rather fascinating. They're almost like, oh, there must be something you can do with those. Morning Joe. So we have garden green wreath, but we're not going to leave it as a wreath. We're going to chop it up a little bit. We might need another one, we'll see. We'll leave it at one for now, see how we go. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Pear Pizzazz ink, because I'm going to stamp some pears, and Pear Pizzazz ink seemed possibly the best choice of ink to go with. Let's find ourselves a little block. Now we've got a photopolymer stamp here, so I'm going to bring in my piercing mat underneath to give me a bit of squidginess. Let's ink those up. They're cute, aren't they? I think we'll have I'm going to go for 3. I'm going to go for half a dozen pairs. There we go. Now what I might do with those actually is come in with a little bit of yellow watercolour pencil. Just add in a little touch of yellow. Should really have given my yellow a bit of a sharpen first, but hey ho. Watercolour pencils are great for sort of going over the top of stamped images and adding highlights and hints of other colour. Might have been a bit too tentative with this first one. Let's add in a bit more yellow there. Excellent. Snip along there. Now we're going to cut those out, and the die does come as a pair, which is always nice when you're morning Jane, always nice when you're cutting things in multiples. So the stamps come as a pair, the die comes as a pair, so obviously when you come to run those through, those will line up nicely, but it will cut them out as individuals, so they don't cut out as a pair, they cut out as individuals. It just makes the bulk stamping, cutting of them so much easier. Apologies for the wobble. 1, 2, we're being very brave and not taping them down. We're just going for it. I think that one might have wibbled a little bit. Oh, not too bad. Just a little bit. Ooh, ah, just a little bit. That definitely did. That's better. Let's wibble it back into place. Not sure whether wibble is a technical term. It is now. And last pair of pairs. Let's move this out of the way for a minute. So I think what we'll do is let's take a little bit of white. I've got things falling all over the place. And my trimmer, looking around for my trimmer, and it's hanging up where it's supposed to be, hence I can't find it. To cut this to, it's already 13.9 that way, 9.5 this way. Then let's have a bit of pear pizzazz as a mat behind it. So this one will be 10 centimetres by 14.4. And we'll have a white card base. So that will be our mats as they layer up. I'm going to take my blue blending brush and let's go balmy blue. So we'll open that up. We'll take this and let's start off in the middle. I'm just going to add in some blue sky to the middle. If you've not already invested in blending brushes, well, why not? So I don't want it to go edge to edge, I just sort of want it a bit of soft blue in the middle. Right, let's take some paper snips and let's do some surgery on this. Bring that down a little bit. About like that, do we think? And then we'll have our pears hanging from our pear tree. Might just go with 5. It's rather cute, isn't it? That will look rather sweet. Let's have a look at our greetings. I think perhaps a best wishes. Where are we? Just there in the middle. And perhaps I'll pick up on the garden green for that as well. And let's just pick that up a minute. We'll do some gluing in a second. But let's have our, bring it in a bit just there. It's possibly slightly wonky, but that's okay. We won't beat ourselves up too much about that. It's handcrafted, not mass produced. So I've got my silicone mat here. Let's put down some wiggle of glue. And let's come with this top one. We'll dibble it in our glue on there. And bring that coming up the top here. We'll trim off those extra bits in a minute. Then we'll dibble this one. So this is all just one wreath that we've just cut up and made a tree. And obviously you'll have a bit of give in these branches as well if you need to curve them round a bit more. Right, so let's take our snips and just snip off those extra leaves just there. And then we have our little pears. So I think some of these, I'm just going to pick up a bit more of that glue. Some of these will have perhaps coming in the background, and then others will pop some dimensionals on. Raise them up a bit. Have one here. Let's have one hanging here. Perhaps we'll bring another one hanging in on top. Then we'll have this one. I think I'll pop some dimensionals on that one as well, coming down on the bottom. stick this on here. I'm going to, this is my funny linen twine that has come unravelled, but actually it's quite useful. Obviously, if you wish to unravel your, deliberately unravel your linen twine, you are absolutely able to. Mine just seems to have come, whether it just didn't get quite twisted enough on the linen thread twisting machine, I don't know. But makes it a little bit fiddly to work with, but gives quite a nice effect when it's done. So you might want to tie your bows first and then unravel the ends if you were looking for this. But it just goes to show that even if you're not produced the way the world thinks you should be, you can still be beautiful and functional. Ooh, well there you go. If you wanted to gift somebody some Body Shop pear hand cream, perfect card to go with it. Right, so let's stick that on there. Anchor that down before our twine wanders anywhere. I don't think I'm going to add anything to that. I was just wondering, do I want some little rhinestones or anything? But no, I don't think I do. You could add a bit of Wink of Stella to your pears if you wanted to add a bit of sparkle or something. That would be an option. But yeah, I think that's rather cute. So there we are. There's one, you know, entirely alternative project rather than creating wreaths. Now the other thing that the other random thought that wandered through my mind earlier, like they do, somewhere I've picked up my soft suede ink. So the other thing I thought I'd have a bit of a play with is this little sort of box thing that's going on here. It would make a great, if you wanted a crate of pears, and you could perhaps have a crate of pears sitting under your pear tree if you want to. That would be quite good. But I thought I would take this stamp. Let's come back to Squidgy Mat. And here's something I prepared earlier. What I've got here is a piece of crumb cake card, and I have cut it at 19 centimetres long by, I'm sure that was 3 centimetres. Yes, it was. So it's 3 centimetres by 19, and I've gone along and I've scored it at every 4.5 centimetres. So 4.5, 9, 13.5, 18. So now I've got 4 little score lines and a little tab on the end. So what I'm going to do, my measurements came from the fact that I measured the stamp, and 4.5 by 3 is about what that measures. So it's crumb cake card, but I've got some soft suede ink, and my plan is that I am going to stamp. There is something on that stamp. What was one of our tips the other day? Make sure that your stamp is clean. There was a little hair or something on there. Have we shifted it? I think so. I'm going to come along and stamp in each of those sections. with my little box stamp like that. Then what I will do is add some glue to that end section and fold it round, and now I have a little box. And again, I'm just going to do this as a little standalone project, but you could add it into other projects if you were doing like a pop-up card type effect. You could use one of these. But the other thing I've got here is some little strips, and what all this was a piece of 5.5 centimetre card. I don't know whether I want 1, 2 or 3. I think 2 is going to be enough. So I just chopped off another piece of, as I'd cut off my strip 3 centimetres wide and then cut it down to 19. I took the leftover bit and cut that to 5.5 centimetres, scored it at 0.5 centimetre each end, and then cut it into centimetre strips. So I've actually got 3 strips there, but I think I'm only going to need 2. So I'm going to fold that so one goes one way and one goes the other, so you've got like a little Z thing going on. And I'll put some glue on there and pop that in there. So if you've done any pop-up box cards or any of those sorts of things, you will no doubt have done this in the past. And the reason that you make it a Z fold is so that it will fold shut like that. Let's give that a press to make sure that that is all nicely in there. So let's take another one and make it into a little Z fold, and we'll pop a little bit of glue each end, and again pop that in there. In you go. Let's give that a squeeze so that we know that that's in place, and give it a press. Right, so now we've got our box with our little struts going across that will fold flat. So what I've done here is, again, I've cut out 2 wreaths. I've cut out one of each. So this one is Granny Apple Green and this one is Shaded Spruce. And I've cut out a whole load of the little die cut flowers. Some of them have still got bits in them that we'll need to pop out. So I've cut 3 large Melon Mambo ones. I think I've got 6 here, 6 Daffodil Delight medium sized flowers. And again, you've got 2 of the big dies, of the medium sized dies. You've got 1 big die, 2 of the medium sized dies, and 3 each of these little ones. And I've got 9 here because I just ran it through 3 times with all 3 flowers. So with 3 runs through my machine, and this was through the little machine, I have got all of those flowers. And now we can just do a little bit of flower arranging and decide what we want where. Now I was half wondering whether I would cut this sort of in half and have perhaps it coming round put some glue on this end bit here and some glue on these end bits here. Lie that down. So that coming there, and that coming there. So it's sort of almost twisting across the front. And let's do the same. So I'm going to put some glue on here and a glue on this end just here. And let's twist this round. So we'll stick that on that panel. Actually, I'm going to take that glue off of that back bit just there. Put some on this front bit and pop that under there. These stuck. That's rather fun. Right, let's have a look at some of our little flowers. I'm going to put a large melon mambo one there, and possibly another large one in there. Drop that down a bit so that it's not quite as high. Oh, got lots of glue on my fingers now. That's it. I'm going to put we'll have some little ones, I think, on the front here. Hello, Em. You can tell that my fingers are really gluey now. They are very fiddly, aren't they? Let's take a little snip out of there. And we'll add that in there. Let's come in with some yellow. And to put some yellow on the bottom of here so that I can have that popping out behind that box just there. Put a little dimensional on the back of there, and we'll have that here. Might need to put a bit more glue on that end just there at some point, or a little glue dot just to help that hold down. Let's have I'm going to actually find somewhere here a little bit of window sheet. Cut that in half, and then I'm going to cut it a bit shorter again. Stay. Let's put some of these on here. Let's come back to our green leafy bit here. Pop that out. snip that off. I'll put a bit of glue on there and I'm going to pop that behind my window sheet. Stay, because with window sheet it takes a little while for the glue to dry as well. Okay, where's my wreath gone? It's in my basket under my desk. Let's have another little bit of green. So these aren't the sort of things that you rustle up in 2 minutes flat. They are the sort of thing that you have to take your time over. Let's add that to the back of our window sheet. And then what we need to do is add that window sheet to the inside of our box. So I think I'm going to take a couple of glue dots for that job. We'll have 1 and 2, and we'll add that in there like that. I'm going to add this flower to the top of this bit of window sheet with a glue dot. Actually no, that glue dot needs to go on the back, I think. And we'll have that one. Oh no, we won't. Where did that window sheet go? I've just flung it across the room, and of course, being window sheet, I've got no hope of finding that. Let's cut ourselves another bit. There we are. If I lay that down, you'll be able to see that a little bit more in action. Shall we try once more? Has that flower got enough glue on it? Yes, to stick on there. And let's try another glue dot, and this time try not to ping it across the room. I want it on the back. And then we'll have it sitting in there like that. So obviously you can sit and build this up. I won't build it up very much longer because you'll all have nodded off. But you get the general idea of how you can use your wreaths and your die cut flowers. I'll just tuck that in there for a minute. To create a really pretty little garden, and you can add say dimensionals, and so I might put a little mini dimensional on the back of this one. And of course these don't need a lot to hold them in place. And then stick it to the front of those pink flowers in there. So just, you can keep on building. So you could add this to the inside of a bigger pop-up card if you wanted to. And take this, it says Happy Heart Day, and let's go. What should we go? Let's go Melon Mambo. little bit of card. And obviously, you know, you could use the idea and go with a much bigger box card with all of these flowers. They're really lovely to play around with that. I'm going to cut out day and sorry, I'm going to cut out happy. There we go, a really cute little box card that you can fold flat to go in an envelope. Just really cute. So hopefully that's given you, if you've already got the Arranger Wreath stamp set and dies, hopefully that's given you some ideas of something a little bit different that you can do with them. And as I say, if you're living here in the UK and you would like to receive a Stamp a Stack class in the post, do get in touch and we can sort that out for you. No problems. It'd be lovely to have you join us. So thank you for joining me this morning for this bit of a play, and I will be back later in the week. So love to you all.